Go.
Okay, welcome to our next USWA FloArena training video. In this video, we'll be reviewing how to print weigh-in cards, how to enter weigh-in cards, and how to do our double checks. A quick side note is we are going to review on how to run an overage report. We do this at our Fargo event to make sure we have the adequate amount of wrestlers per team, per weight class. So we would go to our reports here, and there's a team overage report. We would select that, and what that will do is it'll bring up each weight class and what team or what state each wrestler is from. We want to make sure that there's only 4 wrestlers per team per weight class, unless there's some exemptions for regional placers and such as that. So we print this before and after weigh-ins, because there will be quite a few changes after weigh-in cards are entered. So to print our weigh-in cards, we would also go to our reports tab. And here we would go to our weigh-in cards. And you can select what you would like to be printed on each weigh-in card. You can check or uncheck any items. You can add the tiers, the customs, whichever you'd like to be displayed on the card. Generally, we print paper size as our letter size. You can select how many weigh-in cards per sheet is printed out. You could do a whole page per wrestler. You could do 2 by 2 would be 4 cards per page, or you can do thirds, and you can have 3 cards per page. The cut order will determine the way that the weigh-in cards get printed out per sheet. If you hit sheet, it will go in alphabetical order, and you will have to manually file each page. If you hit stack, after you cut the weigh-in cards, you can take one whole stack and put it on top of another, and you don't have to sort any other cards besides that. So stack is a great way for cut order. If you want to select all wrestlers, you would select all wrestlers, and from there you would hit your print button and make sure your printer is full of paper and print away. You also may want to print a few blank weigh-in cards, because there's always a few that go missing. And once those are out and wrestlers are getting weighed in, we can start entering our weigh-in cards. To do that, we would go to our data management. In the top corner here, if we take out the wrestler's number, we should have all wrestlers. You can enter the wrestler's ID number, 345, and it'll automatically bring up the wrestler. You always want to verify the first and last name and the team. And then if you hit enter after you enter the ID number, it'll bring you exactly to the exact weight. You enter the wrestler's exact weight, hit enter again, and it'll automatically bring you back up to the ID box. You can enter the next wrestler's ID, confirm the wrestler's first and last name, hit enter the wrestler's actual weight, and hit enter again, and it'll automatically bring you back up to the wrestler ID box. You continue that for all 927 wrestlers until all weigh-in cards have been entered. If you need to make any changes, if Hudson Man weighed in at 101, let's try that again. 101. He was overweight, and we would have to make an adjustment to his weight class. We would select this little pencil, and you can change his actual weight will be entered, and you can change his weight class to the next one up and hit save. If a wrestler gets a red card or a yellow card or has the skin check at weigh-ins, if you hit the edit box again, there's a comment tab, and you can enter skin check, cover, right arm. Or you can enter his red card or his yellow card, cannot compete until receives green card, whatever kind of medical that you need to enter there, and you hit save. Next, you would, while you're entering weigh-in cards, you'll want to have some other pairing officials starting to sort out your weigh-in cards. They want to make sure that they separate by division and then by weight classes. Once they have all the cards sorted, we can print out our weigh-in sheets by going back to reports. And at the very bottom, weigh-in sheets. Here, we want to make sure that we have all wrestlers selected. We want to group them by weight classes. We want to put them in order by last name. So when the double checks are being done, it's easy to filter and review that. You can also select optional fields that will show up on your weigh-in card. If they need a skin check, whether they weighed in, whether they're withdrawn, you can select those as well. And you'd hit the generate button and it would bring up your sheet for you and you would print that out. After your double checks, you can look for your no-shows. You can go to data management. You can filter by division. We're going to take out this ID number. We can filter by divisions by selecting the drop down and only selecting men's freestyle 16U. There could be Greco, there could be juniors, women. Make sure you're only filtering your division. And then you can also filter by weight class. You can select specific weight classes, or you can put them in order, ascending or descending order of weight classes. If a wrestler did not weigh in, you should see all the exact weights that have been entered here. If they did not weigh in, you would just double click this and it would uncheck them as weighed in. You would do this instead of deleting them. So if magically someone found their weigh-in card and they were supposed to be entered, you don't have to re-enter all their information. You can just simply check them back in. So that's how you would take them out of the event, is just simply by unclicking the weighed in. Checking for duplicate wrestlers. Again, you would do this in data management. You can sort by last name. So if you're doing it per weight class, you can select any weight class and you can select by name. You can put it in alphabetical order. And you can search for any brothers. Once you've done all your double checks to make sure everyone is weighed in, everyone had an actual weight, and you have unchecked your weigh-ins for wrestlers that did not weigh in, you can run another overage report, again by going to reports, going back to your team overage report, and reprinting this off one more time, just because you will have a lot of changes during weigh-ins. And that will conclude our video for this section. Our next section will be on bracketing, seeding, numbering your matches, and starting your event.